Hi, everybody. Hi, welcome, everyone. I'm Malka Katzenstein. I am a wellness coach, and I'm happy to be here tonight. I'm going to wait for, one person. Thank you for joining. I'm just going to, so people are joining, and so I will start. I realize I'm a couple of minutes late, so I will start, and tonight I will be talking about compliments, accepting compliments. For some reason, I guess it's kind of understandable. A lot of people have a hard time accepting compliments. And I think that it's a great topic to talk about. And I will explain why. Because it's really important to learn how to accept compliments and understand why it's important to do that. And it's also very understandable that it's uncomfortable. There are a couple of reasons that it's uncomfortable to accept compliments, and a lot of people have a hard time with it, but I want to kind of explain it so that we can understand it from a way that can make it, understand why it's good for us, and also hopefully make it a little bit easier to do it because it's going to be good. So, here are some reasons that people have trouble accepting compliments. I think the main reason is, probably one of the bigger, I think there are two really big reasons. And I think one of them is that people think it's important to be modest, and that accepting a compliment or being proud of yourself or acknowledging that you did something well or that you deserve praise for something is not modest and it's arrogant. And that's a myth because, being realistic and accepting praise for something, that either a job that you did well or just something that somebody admires about you, everybody has a right to that, and that it's not a lack of humility. So it's really important to understand that. And I think that another reason that, one of the bigger reasons that it's for some people that it's hard to accept compliments is because we don't believe it. Maybe it's a lack of self-esteem, that we just think that no, what are you talking about? This is not a big deal, or I didn't do such a great job, or I didn't do anything at all. It just is what it is. Give credit to something else, not something that you did, or even if it's not something that you deserve credit for, just something I don't know, I can't think of an example now, but just somebody saying something nice to you. It's hard to hear that if we have low self-esteem and we don't think that we're worthy of praise or compliments, or if we have really high expectations for ourselves. I know I will say that I'm guilty of that. I set really high standards for myself, and I'm just being candid here because I get it. And so if anybody else does that, it's really hard, and I get it. So I set really high standards for myself, and sometimes I don't get the results that I thought, that I was looking for, but it's good enough. It's good enough. Let's just leave it like that. And other people are enjoying it or can, think it looks good. And I just think, no, that's not good. So, maybe we set standards too high for ourselves, So we don't think that what we did is worthy of a compliment. Another reason could be we might think that the person is just, it may not be sincere. We might think, people, there are a lot of things. You walk into a room, you go to a wedding, and people see you and they just say, oh, you look great, you look beautiful. And it's just a thing to say. So maybe you don't believe it. And what happens often is that we just say some people just say thank you, and that's great. For people who have a hard time with it, you might then start criticizing yourself, putting yourself down, or just deflecting it, saying yeah, okay, whatever, thank you, it's no big deal. And, the reason not to do, there are a couple of reasons not to do that. And let's talk about those. I just want to make sure that I didn't leave anything out. Sometimes I just want to, there are a lot of things to say on certain topics, and I just don't want to, I don't want to forget to say anything. So the reasons, let's just go through it. It could be low self-esteem. It could be just, feeling like it's a lack of modesty. It could be feeling like you don't deserve it because you didn't do as good of a job. Yes, here's another one that I wanted to talk about. some people, and I will speak for myself also, I don't always like to have attention drawn to myself. So sometimes we deflect that because we just don't like to talk about ourselves, and we don't want people to, be talking about us and what we did or whatever, So that's another reason that people might be uncomfortable with compliments, just like don't want the attention. So here's why compliments are really a good thing. Compliments they actually serve a social purpose. They have a social function. Compliments are a connection. When somebody is complimenting you, they are making, taking a step towards connection with you. And that's really important. Social connection is really important for our overall health, for our mental health, for sure. And when somebody compliments us and we say, we deflect it or we deny it or whatever it is that we do, we don't accept it, let's put it that way, we're basically telling them, no, I disagree with you, you're wrong. It's not, it's rude. Okay, maybe that's harsh. It's not rude, but it's like, it's sort of like pushing away a bid for connection. And if we look at compliments as a way to connect with other people, then it can really help to see it in a broader thing. So, in a broader way. So compliments are healthy because it's, like I said, it's connection. When somebody compliments you, they are, they're taking a step towards connection. And when you accept the compliment, you are furthering that connection. And also you're telling the other person that you're noticing them and that you're validating what they're saying, because, imagine not accepting a compliment can really feel bad. Sometimes somebody really does take a leap, sticks their neck out in order to give somebody a compliment. And then you say, ugh, you don't know what you're talking about. That can kind of feel like a slap in the face. So learning how to accept a compliment is important for that also. It's important for us, which I will talk about that too, but it's also important for, connecting with the person who's trying to connect with you. Also, you are validating their opinion, and you are acknowledging that they reached out. So it's a good thing to do for us and for the complimenter. And so it's worth learning how to get comfortable with compliments. Here are some reasons that it's important to, the benefits of compliments. It also can help us to, learning how to accept praise, learning how to accept a compliment is good for our, with grace and gratitude, or, just being real about it is good for our growth. And growth is always good, and learning new things and learning new skills and getting comfortable with more things. So that's something to do. It trains our brains to recognize good things about us. If somebody compliments you on a job that you did, some skill that you have, or something, that you did well, something that they admire, when you say thank you, you are like kind of confirming that in your brain. Oh, I'm capable and I am able to do this well. And then that creates more connections, and that will help you continue to do well and create more success. It also helps build confidence, which might be one of the reasons that we have a hard time, low confidence, low self-esteem can be one of the reasons that it's hard to accept compliments in the first place. So by learning to and getting more comfortable with accepting them, we can help build that too. So how do you do that? How do you get comfortable with it? So the first, I guess I can start by just saying like, okay, maybe it won't be comfortable, at least not in the beginning. And that's not a reason to not do something that's good for you. Sometimes, most of the time, that's how we grow, by doing things that are hard. Think about like, when we pick up like heavier weights in the gym, we're going to feel it. It's going to hurt. It's going to be a little bit challenging, but that's how we're going to build the muscles and build the strength and get better and stronger. So, so here's with things like compliments, you just do it. Even if it doesn't feel great, and even if it's hard for you, you just say, thank you. Be conscious of it. it's something that actually you probably do have to be conscious of in the beginning. Some of us may not even be aware that we have a hard time with accepting compliments until somebody points it out to us. And so then what we have to do is to kind of recognize when we're being complimented and to learn how to just say thank you. Say thank you. You don't have to qualify it in any way. Just say thank you and sort of absorb it. Let that good feeling kind of enter into yourself and, your belief about yourself. If you want to, so that's like beginner. When you want to like take it to the next level, or if you want to like kind of build it up a little bit, you can sort of build that up a little bit by saying, giving something back, like, confirming it. Even if someone says like, oh, like I love your dress, you can say something like, thank you. I really like this dress. Thanks. So that's furthering the connection. Saying thank you is really nice and it's good manners. But if you want to, if you're looking at it as an opportunity for connection, you can further that and say, something like that, like, oh yeah, I really love this dress too. Or yeah, I like this dress. I love the color. You can take it a little bit further. If you want to get even more advanced in that, you can ask a question. You can say something like, let's go with the dress. I love your dress. Thank you. I love this dress. I like this dress too, because I really love the color. What's your favorite color? Or where do you like to go shopping? Or, think of something that, that's an example that comes to my mind. And also that's something that's kind of easy. Somebody complimenting your outfit or something that's, some external thing that could be a good way to start. Because maybe that's a little bit less uncomfortable than somebody complimenting you on something about you or something that you did and that you might feel a little insecure about. But even with that, so let's talk about I love that I love the way you decorated your room. It looks beautiful. I love the colors. You could say thank you. I had a really good time doing it. Or you could say I had a really hard time doing it. I'm happy it looked nice and that you like it. Where do you I had a hard time finding those that rug. Where do you like to buy a rug? Those are like kind of examples of how you can do that. And then that helps build connection. That helps you build the skills. Another thing that people might, that trips people up sometimes is you might feel like you need to return a compliment, and you absolutely do not. It's nice, and if you're feeling it, go ahead and do it. But just because somebody compliments you, it doesn't have to be a back and forth thing in terms of that. It doesn't have to be, oh no, they complimented me, now I owe them something. It's not at all. Take it as if somebody is complimenting you because they sincerely want to express some admiration or, just let you know that they appreciate something that you did. And it doesn't have to go back and forth like that. In fact, if you do that because you feel, out of a sense of obligation and it's not sincere, the other person most of the time can tell. And then also then kind of, and I know that that's sometimes a natural tendency that people feel like they need to. Somebody compliments you and you have to compliment them back. But, and that also could be part of the, low self-esteem, low, self-confidence, and it doesn't have to be. So that's also a good thing to practice. If you want to give the other person a compliment, you can, and that's a really nice thing to do, but it doesn't have to be connected to the compliment that they gave you. So that's really important to remember that, because, then that kind of cheapens the whole interaction. And even the thing that somebody's saying to you, really trying to be nice. So take it in and just like absorb it, let it become part of you. Just take a minute, just say thank you. Again, like I said before, you can just start with thank you. Even just saying that is enough. If you want to continue the connection, you can. But even when you're just saying thank you, feel it. Let yourself feel it. You can, another thing that can help to get comfortable with it is, just saying, practicing just saying thank you. That's a good way to start. Then getting more comfortable with it, compliment yourself. I know it sounds a little bit silly, but, if you do a good job on something, you say, oh, I'm really proud of myself. I really like how I did that. Or like you having a good body image day. You look in the mirror, I look pretty good today. I'm really happy with that. Or I really love these earrings. I really, just say nice things to yourself. And it could sound silly, but it could help you get comfortable with it. Practice by giving compliments to other people and watch how they react. Watch to see if they just say thank you. Watch to see if they do a little back and forth. Watch to see if they feel like they have to jump to compliment you back, or if they deflect the compliment, or if they put themselves down. It can be just an interesting sort of social experiment for you and teach you a lot about what it looks like on the other end when that's going on. And, just give you some feedback. And, and remember that when somebody is complimenting you, it's feedback, sometimes, which is very valuable. Sometimes we don't really know how things are. We can be very critical of ourselves, or we just don't have perspective or objectivity. And when somebody gives you a compliment on something that that gives you some, another person's opinion and some objectivity and some space from it. And it's feedback. Look at it as feedback, but also look at it as a nice thing. Look at it as positive feedback. Let's say positive feedback, something good. And also look at it as connection. Let it make you, let it fuel you, let it, first of all, teach you oh yes, I did do a good job at this, or I am good at that, or I did that well, or I have this talent, or whatever it is. And then let that make you feel good. Let that feed your soul in a way. And take that as you have some quality or skill or talent or whatever it is that you're being complimented for that somebody else admires, which can feel good. And, we should not be dependent on other people to feel good about ourselves. So that's not what I'm saying. But just knowing that you were able to put something out there that somebody else saw as something good, that's positive feedback. And that gives you some information about yourself. That's something that, that you did well, or that you managed well, or that you have, some special quality that you have. And that's really important. It's important to know this, and it's important to know this about yourself, and it's important to feel good about it. And let that, let that be a confidence building tool. Let that kind of fuel you. So those are the important points that I wanted to make about accepting compliments. I know that this came up as something that people wanted to hear about, and I saw that and I thought, okay, this is a great topic because it's something I've spoken about before, and it's something that I think about, and I think it's something that, I don't know, it's hard, and it really shouldn't be. It shouldn't be hard to hear nice things about ourselves, and it shouldn't be hard to absorb nice things about ourselves, and so we should all get better at that, and remember that it's also a way of connecting and making the other person feel good. And again, like I said, it doesn't have to be like a tit for tat kind of thing, but imagine somebody gives you a compliment. Well, if you compliment somebody and they say, I don't know, that probably doesn't feel good, because you're telling them yeah, your opinion doesn't matter, or you are wrong, or, so it's important all around. It's good for us to accept compliments because it helps us grow and it helps us build our own confidence. And it's also good for connection and sending a message to the person who is complimenting us. So I hope that this was helpful to people, and I hope that, there was something to learn here. And thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here, and have a good night.